Welcome to Backseat Confessions Podcast. Slide into the backseat as we listen to mostly anonymous strangers tell us stories from their lives. I'm a rideshare driver in Atlanta, and the people getting in my car have absolutely no idea I'm going to ask them to share. My commitment to you is to tell at least a snippet of virtually every story recorded in my car in the order they were told to me. My hope is that you laugh, cringe, cry, but mostly connect to these amazing people. You may find a piece of your own story, or just feel more connected to the rest of us. Join us, won't you? So, hey, my new friend. This is an adult podcast. Themes and languages are definitely not suitable for everyone. Listener discretion is advised. Well, hello to all of you little hitchhiker friends. So glad you're joining us today as we travel all over the greater Atlanta area and listen to everyone's stories. I wonder, what would you talk about if you were to climb into the backseat, huh? All right, let's get this show on the road. Our first rider gets us started off with a kind of perfect little BCP story. The kind of thing that you probably don't share very often, but it's just a great story. Also, I think her sense of humor and adventure is pretty great.
Story number 121. Thursday, February 4th, 2021, 11 p.m.
But so I moved to a new city.
Okay.
From obviously an older city.
Ooh, I like that. Very mysterious.
I know. I really like to set the bar high.
Yeah.
And been living in this new city for about a year and a half.
Okay.
And then I get someone slides into my DMs from high school, right?
Oh, I like this.
You know, pretty cliche story, whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
And they go, you know, scrolling back to pics from, you know, it's 2021. We're in 07 on Instagram. And I'm like, this is getting into the thick of things.
Uh-huh.
And so it's like, hey, super cute. Like, how are you doing? And I'm like, goodness gracious. All right. Great. How are you doing? Kid I never really talked to in high school. Wasn't even like, hey, in the hallways. Really no mutual friends, anything like that.
Right.
So, getting to the point. How are you doing? What are you doing? So you moved to, you know, new city. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. I also see you're on this app. Are you really into all these things? And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? He's like, oh, I saw you were on Open. And literally, time stops. I'm transported back in time 3-4 years ago when my friend had me download this app for sexually deviant people that his cousin had like launched. And so it was all about how you can pick if you're, you know, into, you know, bisexuality, polygamy, pansexual, you know, into couples, whatever the case may be, sex in public.
Yeah.
And I was at a very interesting time in my life where I was just like, sex in public, sex in cars, you and your wife, whatever the case may be, left and right. Like, I was into it all. I was like, the world is my sexual oyster.
Right, which I totally respect. So, like, this is like you were into it in a theoretical way, or you were into it like, hey, I'm giving some of this a try?
Is this necessary to answer that part?
Yeah, of course it's necessary, Katie. What do you...
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, I was definitely into it all, like, sexually deviant side. And I would say with trusting safe sexual partners, protection, all of that, boyfriend at the time, you know, let's do this here, let's do that. Very adventurous with the right human, not strangers with, like, someone I'd be seeing.
Yeah, love it. Now, what's the difference between open and, like, a FetLife or one of the BDSM type of things?
Interesting. Was also on FetLife.
Okay.
Very similar, except this is structured and don't say this verbatim. When I was on it, it was very much like a Tinder where you could swipe left, swipe right.
That's very different.
And match with people who you could see had similar sexual preferences.
Yeah.
And so he's like, are you really into all these things? I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, this app. And I'm like, what? And he's like, you're on the app. Oh, and I literally go to it. There's pictures of me on there from 3 years ago with like my face. And mind you, this is like the town I went to high school. And he's like, are you really into like sex in public and like all this stuff? And I'm like, I'm so sorry you stumbled upon this. I had no idea this would ever like went into fruition. And the only reason I thought of this story is because you said the word open. And I'm like, oh my God, let me tell you about this mortifying thing where I'm probably matching with like the valedictorian of my high school's dad, which I wish that would happen. He was pretty hot.
All right, I like that.
And so I was like, I'm so sorry. Please forget you ever saw this.
Yes.
I'm going to go delete this. Thank you for telling me.
Right.
Also, I'm halfway across the country.
Right.
And I'm sorry this is how you seek out women. Because I'm sure that I didn't say that. I would never say that.
Real. I was like,
no, I'm not.
She's cold as ice.
This is true. I got this ice box. No, I'm just kidding. And so that's my little open story is I stumbled upon a kid from high school who called me out after I moved halfway across the country asking if I was still into all the sexual preferences.
Can you imagine, like, for half a minute, he's like, oh my God, I freaking hit the lottery. Like, a girl that I kind of have an acquaintance with. Yeah. And she's a freak like me. And then he finds out it was all just a mirage.
Yes.
Gosh.
That's me.
You're just a mirage.
I'm like
Katie.
a sexual Carmen Sandiego. I'm copywriting that line.
I love
that's
that.
mine.
That's a bumper sticker. No, dang it. I was going to build a whole empire off that too.
Oh, it's all good. 10%.
Okay. All right. No, I like it.
60-40.
60-40. Right. Katie, you're amazing. Thank you for sharing your story and thank you for being so open.
Absolutely. Here for you, man.
All right. Thanks for having my dumb joke, by the way.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, absolutely.
Also, you missed that turn signal.
I did?
No, I'm just kidding. We've been on a straightaway. I'm just busting your chops.
All right. Yeah. Well, so far I've not done great at picking
Have a
up,
great night. Thank you.
Thanks. I think the relatable part is that virtually all of us have some proverbial skeletons in our respective proverbial closets that we'd just like to stay there. I mean, who doesn't have an embarrassing phase in their life that they would rather not some kid you went to high school with in your small town find out about? Never mind. Maybe it's just me. Oh, right, and Katie here. This next young lady may have had a couple of drinks in her, and she was ready to share about her experiences in the strip club world. Feels like this story would have gone well with the last episode, where we had 2 strip club stories. Also, while I was recording the conversation, I said it was the 121st story, but it's actually the 122nd story.
Story number 122. Thursday, February 4th, 2021, 11:35 p.m.
Okay, so we're going to do something a little different. You said you'd love to talk, but don't have a specific story. So we're going to do, I guess, a mini interview. And we're going to start off with, I picked you up from a strip club where you waitress. Is that correct? Okay.
Absolutely.
Tell me a little bit about what it's like to be a waitress at a strip club.
Okay, so it's just so much. When people are really drunk, they don't even know where they're at.
Wow.
They just tell me, like, let me get this drink. And they're like, oh, I never forgot. Look, I already paid you. I'm like, no, you did not pay me. Like, girl, you showing your booty hole, but you can't pay me. Like, you getting paid for that booty hole, girl. Like, I need my money too.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Tell me, like, what is one of the craziest things you've seen go down in the last maybe month or two?
In a month or two, well...
Or longer, but, like...
Just a lot of people jack off dicks, bro. Oh,
really?
Sorry.
Okay.
Yes.
So, like, legit, like, do you see this, or do you just kind of know what's going on?
Okay, so I, over the pants kind of shit, yes, I see it.
Okay, wow. So you're, like...
But in the VIP, look,
yeah.
I'm from some other club, which was really well known, kind of shut down.
Yep, okay.
So, that shit was... We were making so much money in there.
Really?
But now, this club is different. So they kind of keep it to a certain point, and like they don't want PDA and shit like that.
Got it.
Just dancing and all that shit. But
yeah,
just like over the pants shit. But in VIP, oof, I've seen bitches sucking dick.
Wow.
I've seen bitches on the dick.
Wow, really? That's crazy. Wow.
No, it's not crazy. It's just normal. Like, it's normal.
Yeah, I'm not a strip club guy, so I don't. Yeah, that
Are
whole,
you not a strip club guy?
No.
Come on, bro.
No.
Like, what do you do? You just this is all you do?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh my God.
But even when I was like in my single wild years, it just wasn't really my gig. But that's why it's so interesting to me. Honestly, this is not about me. It's about you. But for me,
no. But what I'm saying is, why was it never interesting to you?
I think I know why. Is I always felt like I didn't want to have to pay girls to like.
Oh, I'm not paying for a mortgage. I'm not paying for student loans.
No, not that. Like, I just didn't want to pay for a girl to like. I wanted to know the girl if she actually liked me because she thought I was cute or because she liked my personality.
Baby, in that kind of atmosphere, come on now, you should know better.
Yeah, that's why I didn't like it. Right, that's why I didn't like it. So, okay, so tell me, how.
What else you want to know? Tell me, baby, tell me, talk to me.
How did you end up finding your way into doing waitressing in that particular world versus like
I used to dance.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Okay, so you were already familiar then with the scene.
Factory. Yes. I was already there. I already did that. Stay to the left lane.
Yes,
wait, hold on. I need to talk to my security. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're good.
But yeah, I used to dance, and that shit was cool for a while, but after a while I was like, oh my God, I need to do something else. Yeah. So I started waitressing at the same place that I was at, and it was cool, whatever.
Yep.
But
yeah,
the life, it just sucks you in, bro.
Does it?
Yes.
I feel like
because the money is so good.
Right. Yeah, the money's so good,
and it's cash.
Right. But like, okay, and if I'm wrong, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but does it also like drain your soul in some way, or are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can we put this on?
Put it on pause. Put it on pause.
Okay.
So yeah, that's one of the things I know when I've talked to some people. I'm just like who are in the environment. It just feels like I agree. The money seems to be fantastic, but like their soul is just like so drained.
I've seen so many girls.
Yeah.
Just like, cause I danced for like 3 years, right?
Oh,
and
wow.
I got tired of it.
Yeah.
So quick.
Yeah.
Like by 2.5 years, I was done. I don't want to do it, and that's when I converted into waitressing.
Yeah.
In the same club that I was at, but
sure.
That shit is just so draining. Yep. You're depressed.
Right.
Everybody needs to fucking drink.
Right.
Like,
yes.
Just to like.
That's what I've heard.
Yes, you need a drink.
Just to get through the day. Yeah,
exactly.
Or the night, yeah.
I'm not no pill popper,
right.
Cocaine,
Good.
nothing like that. I smoke weed. Look, I smoke weed and drink.
You're in Atlanta. You're in Atlanta.
I'm from California.
Well,
I need some fucking weed. Like.
That's true. But okay, so and then because we're getting close to dropping you off, so let me ask you this: what is your like passion or dream? Is it to stay in this?
I just want to be happy.
Okay, so
I just want to be happy because that can come in so many different forms for people.
Yeah.
And
what is a happy? If you were to just paint a happy life right now, what would Carly's happy life look like?
I would be on a beach, on the side of the beach, just ocean.
Yep.
Because I'm from California, I love all that shit.
I love California.
And just paint and draw and make clothes.
Oh.
And make clothes. Ooh, I love clothes.
So you're an artist.
Oh yeah, I definitely have paintings and I draw. I like pencil.
I love that.
For the most part, I don't do color pencil or anything like that. But yeah, that shit is so awesome to me. I love clothes and drawing and painting. Wow. Painting is a little difficult, but thank you for all these questions. You have been a doll. Well, I appreciate you so much. And this is what I've been looking for, which is so funny because I'm like, I wish I would be on a podcast or something. And I feel like, I got the microphone.
Yeah, and you know, this is okay. So you're the 121st story that I've gotten, and I've never done it interview style. So you're the very first person I've ever done it with. So you're amazing, and you broke new ground tonight in the world.
I'm sorry, I like questions.
I love it. No, it's perfect. Carly, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, my love. I appreciate you and stay blessed.
Yes, you too. After taking a lot of dancers in strip clubs to and from their club, I can say that most of them were picked up somewhere from pretty tipsy to flat out drunk when I picked them up after work. And of course, that doesn't count any other type of narcotic that they may have been using to numb out. I am not saying it in a judgmental sort of way, I'm just sharing my observation that most of the ladies I have spoken with in this profession say they cannot do their job sober. Whatever else can be said about the job, that is a hard thing for me to reckon with. You can learn a lot from people that come from a very different background and socioeconomic place than you are from. This next young man comes from incredible wealth, and it gives him a vantage point that is very eye-opening.
Story number 123. Friday, February 5th, 2021, 1:03 a.m.
So I was very blessed in life.
Okay.
My father actually created a restaurant that is known globally.
Really?
Or I'm sorry, nationally.
Okay. Yeah. Wow.
We have about 1,000 locations throughout the Southeast.
Wow. Okay, that's amazing.
And I now work for that company.
That's amazing.
I started my own construction company with that.
Okay.
But I now open up. So I worked for the company back when I was in college. I used to cater sororities and fraternities and kind of just dabbled in a little bit. Told my dad, I was like, look, Dad, let me try my own thing. Yeah. Left the company, started my own thing, and started a construction company. Yeah. In 3 years, we're expected to do around $30 million, so that's pretty dope.
Dang, bro. Commercial, I assume?
Residential and commercial.
Okay, both. Wow.
So now I am back in my father's footsteps, and I now open up new markets with celebrities and athletes. Yeah. Which is super dope. From that, I have learned along my journey of life, I'm 27 years old, that life, it's not about being successful, it's not about making money, it's about giving back. And
wow, I couldn't agree with you more, by the way, but that's amazing.
I have
you're young to have learned that, by the way.
Created a nonprofit called Happy Feet.
Okay.
And it's where we actually bring people with disabilities into our community, and we give them jobs, because people with disabilities, like Down syndrome, they sit after they age out of programs, they sit on the parents' couch for the next 15, 20 years and just watch TV. So created this program for them, and it's a life-changing experience whenever you work with people with special needs, because people think that these kids or these people people look down on them because of their disability, but in reality these people that have these disabilities are gifted with the fact that they're not corrupt by the outside world, and the only thing that they can give you is love. So their souls are just pure, and so you think going into it being surrounded by them that you're going to teach them, but in reality they teach you and they help you. Like, they have changed my life in a way that I can't even describe, because being surrounded by someone that's not corrupt by the outside world with everything that's going on and with just all the bullshit and everything that's just terrible. Being around someone that has a pure soul is life changing.
That's amazing. What would you say if you had to pick the top 1, 2, maybe 3 maximum things? What are the top couple of things you feel like you've learned on this journey of helping people with Down syndrome and other disabilities?
I think the number 1 is we take life for granted. I mean, we take life for granted, the fact that we can just walk around and communicate with people.
That's such a good point.
I mean, it's we go in every day thinking that like we're good and we have all these problems, but really in reality, like, there's people that have like serious problems, but like we have it good, and there's people out there that truly don't, and they still have a smile on their face, and they're still the happiest people in the entire world.
That's so true.
It's wild to even think about.
I worked with a guy once. I don't know why this just popped back in my brain, because I don't know any other reason why I would, but I worked with a guy once whose brother was Down's, and we ended up on the subject of like faith and God and all this stuff, and he's like, I don't know that I have any faith in God or humanity, he said, outside of the fact that when I'm with my brother who's got Down's, there's something about him that I see God in. And he said he may be the only person I know, though. And I was like, it just blew me away.
Couldn't agree more.
It was kind of had forgotten that, so thanks for reminding me. But dude, that's amazing. And I will say this, I love that you're only 27 and you've learned this, because sometimes it takes a lot of guys like into their 40s or 50s, honestly, before they may figure that out. So that's pretty amazing. And so bless you, man. That's incredible.
Absolutely,
and thank you for the work you're doing.
I'm happy to give back, man. It's more than just giving back, though.
Right. No, it sounds like there's a profound change that's happening in you. So,
well, I mean, it's a whole 2021 movement. Like, I have a gig with Lil Baby at the end of the month where I'm taking the restaurant that I'm a part of. And we are bringing it to his hood, essentially. And we're going to give back to the people that he's grew up around.
Oh, that's amazing.
So it just feels good to give back. Essentially.
No, it's incredibly life affirming. Bro, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate you sharing. Really, really, I do.
Thank you.
When a wealthy person tells you that having money is not what makes you happy or satisfied, you can take that to the bank. Truly, no matter what your financial position is, helping others and learning from those that don't have the same capacity as you can really help bring meaning and purpose into your life. Making an appearance on this episode is a paranormal story. This young woman was really fired up during her telling of the story. I'm guessing partly because she didn't want people to think she was making this up. And she also, I think, really wanted people who didn't believe in the supernatural to know that they should.
Story number 124. Friday, February 5th, 2021, 1:28 a.m.
I was living on the west side of Atlanta because I'm from Atlanta.
Yeah.
So I was living from the west side of Atlanta. The area, it was what we could afford because I was buying houses for myself. So it was what I could afford. So I done heard some stories about the area, people dying or whatever in the area and stuff. So I'm not thinking of it. I'm like, man, that's,
Yeah.
So I'm in the house one day and I'm watching like documentaries of what is it called? America's ghost stories. I don't know what it's called. American Horror Story. America's Horror Stories.
Oh, yeah.
So I was watching stuff like that. So I was asleep one night and I just felt something tugging on my blanket. So I'm like, I'm tripping. Like, it's nothing tugging on my blanket. So I'm flipping. I'm like, I'm dreaming.
Yeah.
So then, you know how you could feel like something coming onto you? Like you could just feel this. I don't know how to explain it to y'all, but it just felt like this spirit was just coming onto me. Ooh. So then in my head, I'm like, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus.
Yes.
Like, you got me. Like, Jesus got me. I swear I could die. Like, I seen a big black figure standing in the corner of the room. Like, I'm not playing. Like, tears gonna roll down my eyes telling y'all this because, like, I just felt it. Like, that was the scariest moment. So then I was like, who was I with? True. I was like, True, because I was with my boyfriend at the time. I was like, True, get up. True wasn't in the room. So then I'm calling for True. He was in the living room. So True came, and then he was like, come to me, like, come to me, mommy, come to me. And then I'm like, I can't, it's standing right there. He was like, nothing is standing right there. He turned on the light and it was still like right there. I don't know what it was, what it was. Then my grandma was like, she gonna come and baptize the house and all. So then another night I'm in the shower and like the toilet little thing just like slammed down. I'm like, what the world? Like, something really going on in here. Something going on. So I'm just stiff. I don't be knowing what to do. Like, I don't know me. I don't know. So I had called True. I said, I'm finna leave the house. I can't stay here no more. Like, I can't stay here no more. So then y'all might think I'm lying or not, but on the news, the craziest part on the news, bro, like a few weeks later on the news, like I think it was a little boy body who came at missing on Drummond, on the west side of Atlanta in Drummond, Ashby Road. And then the body was in the back of the house in the duplex. Cause if you see how it looks so run down, you would have been like, you really lived there. But I'm not ashamed to say that. Like people just gotta get what they'll afford. Like you get what you pay for. And a little boy body was in the back of the house and some other people. But so I guess it was his ghost or something, but I don't know. And it's real. Like, ghosts is real, people. Like, y'all need to believe in these stuff, like ghosts, demons, the devil, heaven, angel, God. Stuff is real. Like, take heed in y'all religion, because when it's that time to come and y'all meet y'all maker or whatever, like, y'all gonna be like, mommy told us about stuff like this. Like, God is real. I'm telling you, that opened my eyes. That's why I really have a big belief in God, because that happened. Like, where is that gonna come from? Like,
She talked for quite a while after this about her beliefs in how souls don't always go right to heaven. She also said that the boy was 14 or 15 years old that got killed, and unfortunately was out gangbanging. So he lived hard and died young, unfortunately. She said her bedroom window looked out over the overgrown courtyard area where she awoke one morning to cops pulling the body out. She also said that her grandmother was the one that helped her no longer fear evil spirits. A combination of prayer, holy water, a Bible under her pillow, and a rosary necklace that she wears help her feel protected. She said she can still sense the presence of something dark watching her, but she is now untouchable, so she doesn't have much fear anymore. Our next rider has big plans for her career and is just getting started on them in a real way. There are few things more exciting than starting a job that is in line with where you are wanting to go.
Story number 125. Friday, February 5th, 2021, 9:09 p.m.
Okay, so my biggest dream is to be a boss ass bitch in New York and run it. You know, like I intern in fashion, just be like a Anna Wintour kind of situation.
Love it.
Yeah, that is my biggest dream or fantasy. Yeah.
I love it so much. So tell me a little bit about what are you doing right now in your life that's sort of moving you towards that goal?
Right. So I am actually from Georgia.
Love it.
I interned in New York a few summers throughout college, had the best college experience. And now I just got a job at a beauty product company in wherever we are.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Everybody knows that I'm in Atlanta.
And I start on Monday. I'm so excited.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay, so you're going to be working in the beauty world.
Yes.
Now, are you touching fashion in any way directly in terms of clothing, or is it strictly on the sort of makeup end right now?
Right. It's actually on the makeup end. Yep. The company I'm working for actually creates makeup brushes for big brands, and they have their own exclusive brand, which is really cool. But yeah.
Your friend is whispering to you. I like that. But what it'll do, though, is it's going to put you in and around movers and shakers in the fashion world.
Right. Yeah. And it's very fast-paced, like when I worked in fashion. So very excited. Start on Monday. Wish me luck.
Oh, the best of luck to you. You're going to do so good, though, because you have the passion, and you've obviously got the brains for it, too, which is fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. No, I can tell it really.
You're really hyping me up tonight.
No,
I'm loving this Uber situation.
Thank you. But no, I'm being totally serious. If I may say so myself, one of my gifts is reading people, and I can definitely tell like you're the real deal. All right, so
you can read people.
Yes, that's
a good eye. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've been in sales a bazillion years, and then a lot of other stuff. Just.
You have?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
I was. Hold on, but it's not about me. So I'm curious. Like, if you could paint, maybe not the most, like, optimistic, but sort of like a semi-realistic picture, what is the path from starting here, working for this beauty company, to getting you on in New York? Like, what does that look like?
Right. Definitely working myself up in the company in Atlanta, and then maybe eventually moving to New York and having, like, a, high up position, say for Vogue or other big fashion brands. That would be like my absolute goal, but I'm very, very happy to even get this experience in the first place. So I'm very excited to start this job.
That's so awesome.
Taking it one day at a time.
No, I get it. I love it. No, that's amazing. Well, I wish you all the best, and thank you so much for sharing your dream with us.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You bet. I love the enthusiasm, and I hope all is going well for her. It would be pretty interesting to interview her now and see if the job was what she had hoped it would be, and if she's still on track to work her way towards New York City. Our final rider takes us on the journey of leaving the safe 9-to-5 world and striking out into more entrepreneurial waters. Some may find all of the ins and outs of learning about wholesaling real estate to be a little boring, but Not only do I find it interesting, I also really get psyched about young men of color succeeding in spaces where you typically don't see them.
Story number 126. Friday, February 5th, 2021, 10 p.m.
Hey, so I'm Marcus. I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. I'm in real estate, and I just want to, tell my story about, where I started as a 9-to-5 and how I got into real estate.
I love that, dude. Yeah, tell me. By the way, if you don't mind, how old are you? You seem young.
I'm 27 years old.
Okay, this is fantastic. I love this. Okay, yeah, this is great. Tell me all about it. So you said you started in the 9-to-5.
Yeah, so graduated from the U of M. Didn't really want to go into corporate. I did have a degree in teaching our learners education. I didn't, like I said, go into the corporate of teaching. I did it for one summer, and I kind of didn't want to have my life career shaped into that.
Yeah.
So I went back to work because I still needed to make money to pay bills.
Yeah.
I had a girlfriend, so she liked the things, and you got to keep them happy, but right. You're still going through life. So I started at the 9-to-5. Makita's Homemade Butter Cookies. It's a bakery out in Memphis, Tennessee that my parents own, and
nice.
They do really good. Been in business over 21 years. If y'all ever get a chance to stop by in Memphis, just look that up, and it should be the number one cookie store that
that's
pop
awesome.
up. But I was there, helping them out, building capital. But it wasn't until I started reading where I needed to save a percentage of my money to kind of buy myself out of working, and I started to save like 20% of every check that I was getting, but I still didn't have a vehicle to grow that money. So I was basically just stockpiling the money, but didn't have a vehicle to grow it at an exponential rate. So I got into e-commerce, actually. Got into e-commerce and did eBay, Mercari, Poshmark, OfferUp, Amazon. I ended up making well over $20K just doing that.
Nice.
And that was in the span of 8 months. And also during this 8 months, I was teaching myself how to use the strategy of wholesaling in real estate.
Awesome.
And
and for someone who is just doesn't know anything about real estate, what is, in layman's terms, what is wholesaling real estate?
So wholesaling in real estate is a strategy where you can find a distressed seller and provide the resource of helping them alleviate whatever problem that may be causing the distress with the property.
Yes.
You can also buy that straight out. Or you can put that under agreement or piece of paperwork where you ask full consent of that seller and let them know what's going on with full transparency.
Yes,
and you can also have a cash buyers list is a jargon we use in that world where you'll take that property that sweet seller just gave you the opportunity to help them out on and sell it to an investor, and that'll be called an assignment. An assignment is also a piece of paperwork where you're assigned the property that you just got under contract under the purchase and sale agreement with the seller. You're assigning that property over to your cash buyer, and then you make the difference, and the difference is your profit.
That's amazing. Okay. Awesome. Okay, so that's wholesaling. So you started really researching wholesaling, and you're feeling like, oh man, there's something here.
Yes. So you have a plethora of information on YouTube. So while I was at the bakery, I'll be wanting to learn. So I'll get on YouTube in my break time. But it was really after I got off work where I had to dive deep into it, where the long nights and the early mornings kick in, just really educating myself. It's just so much information. But then you start to get, like I said, it took 8 months. So you start to get analysis of paralysis, and you get to a point where you have to execute. So I had initially 2 failed first deals. And that was just learning processes for me, but they kind of kicked me back from pursuing the wholesale strategy meant to end real estate, and it made me ramp up my e-commerce. So after I ramped up my e-commerce, I wanted to transition the money back into real estate, or at least learning about wholesaling. So how that ended up happening, I'm gonna lead you guys up to how I got my partner. I was driving for dollars. This was like at the end of the 8 months. You feeling the pressure, bills coming in, things like that, and you're ready to get out of the 9-to-5.
Of course.
But for some of you that's listening to this, y'all probably had the same struggle I had. I wanted to make my 9-to-5 and real estate work, because I had such an emotional connection with it being my family business that it was crazy to even just kind of like silently walk away. But after I proved what I was doing in real estate, my family understood.
Yes, sir.
So sometimes you got to step out on their dream and kind of show people what it really is before they actually believe in you.
Yeah, and I was gonna say you gotta have something to keep you afloat, because getting into real estate can be a pretty dry, in terms of money. There can be very little money in the front end, but I will say I agree with you that it's very difficult, especially once you start getting traction, very difficult to do both or two different jobs. It's just almost impossible.
Yeah, and we can go right into trading time for money, you know.
Yes.
With the 8 hours being so demanding on me with the bakery, I couldn't, you know, put my full potential into the e-commerce nor the real estate.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you're doing things like this, I call it the figuring it out phase.
Yes.
And you got to really narrow it down to one, because it'll really sap your energy just working on all of these things.
Yes, sir.
Each and every day, because that's really the task, the daily, you know, balancing.
Yeah. Okay, so you're making your kind of your second run now at wholesaling. You've learned more. You've decided you're going to go for it. What happens?
So what ended up happening when I was driving for dollars, I ended up running into my partner, who is JC right now at the moment.
Yeah.
I ran into two of his properties that he was, you know, needing help selling.
Right.
And I ended up finding buyers, you know, for those properties.
Dang.
So that was my actual first deal. I made $1,500 on, and he gave me the proof of concept that I really can do it.
That's amazing.
And
and all of that came through driving for dollars. So you're networking while you're driving.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, man.
So I'm driving for dollars, man. You know, you got to skip trace the owner, and he popped up as the owner on the property, and man, we ended up working the deal out. And he always said he could have made more money, but I don't think he would have made any more money. But it's a fruitful partnership right now.
That's amazing. When you were saying driving for dollars, unfortunately, because I'm in the rideshare world, I was thinking you were talking about like driving for one of the rideshare companies, but you're not talking about that, were you?
No. So in the real estate world, especially when you're utilizing the wholesale strategy, and you're needing like lead generation, we got a method that's called driving for dollars, or you can say driving for millions. You know, it's all about how you're thinking of these things. Yeah. Because once you're riding around, let's say if you're a newbie and you're starting in your own backyard, just ride around in certain zip codes until, you know, you can get that property that is the deal. And the way you get that is through volume. You know, it's not going to be 5 properties that you're driving around and writing down and it's going to pop. No, you're going to have to do, you know, this zip code this day, this zip code the next day, this zip code, you know, the following day, and until you learn the market. And once you start learning the market, the game is still on, because you have to talk to over 200 to 1,000 sellers to actually hone the skill of, you know, talking to sellers to get a deal.
I love it. Okay, that's amazing. So you're driving for dollars, driving through the neighborhoods, finding these unique properties that might be right for the wholesale, and you've got this partnership with the guy that you kind of helped bring together, the seller or the buyer, excuse me. And where has things gone from there?
So from there, we've actually post-COVID ramped everything up. September, November, December, those were our best months where we ran the money up over $100K for the business.
Wow.
So now, like I was telling when I first got in the podcast, that, you know, we're really systemizing everything at the top of January now, so we can really execute, you know, throughout the whole year.
And by systematizing, you're then planning on bringing other people into this organization.
Right. So once you're, you know, getting into the advanced things, after you go through all the grunt work of their first initial year, it may take, you know, a year and a half, but you will make it through. Once you get through that grunt phase, you'll see that you want to take that initial check and invest it right into the business, because the checks and the strategy of wholesaling are so variable that you don't want to go back to square A of chasing the first check, you know, just to build the infrastructure of your business.
Yes. That is so powerful. By reinvesting in yourself, you're going to grow your money exponentially, and you're, like you said, keep yourself from sliding backwards. Wow, that's phenomenal. Gosh, I guess maybe the sort of the ending question is kind of like what is your guys' vision or plan for the future? Like, where do you see this going? What's your 3 to 5 year plan?
We want to be the best real estate company in the world.
Damn, dude, that's amazing. Okay, so you're not playing.
Yeah, we're not playing, man. With this opportunity that we have, and being in our position, we feel like financial literacy is strong.
Yeah.
And we really want to implement the Dr. Claude Anderson Powernomics.
Okay. Which I'm not familiar with.
Yeah, so he has a curriculum.
Okay.
I look at it as a curriculum because the book is so powerful. If we know, 90% of most people's problems is financial.
Yeah.
And the reason of that is because the lack thereof, the things we don't know.
Yeah.
We're pretty smart people, but if we don't know certain things, we can't utilize it as a resource.
Yeah.
So financial literacy and utilizing Dr. Claude Anderson plan of Powernomics will help us move on the wealth scale iota.
Okay, that's amazing. And is Dr. Anderson, is he black by any chance?
Yes, he is a black man.
That's so cool. Okay, and because I don't know anything about the book, is it talking specifically about real estate, or is it just the power of investing and all the rest of it?
Well, I say it starts with you. The book starts off with telling you about you, and then it tells you a plan into how to help the masses.
Okay.
Because we're all going through this together. It's similar to the pandemic, but it's a financial pandemic.
Right. I don't disagree with that. Yeah. It's really true. And I think the pandemic has highlighted one of the things that I started to wonder as the pandemic started was, I wonder if this is going to push a lot of Americans into entrepreneurship, right? Because so many people's 9-to-5s or whatever their normal gigs were just literally just being taken away from them. So many restaurants were going to all the stuff we're seeing, and it's such a wonderful time if you have any entrepreneurial spirit in you whatsoever. It is as good a time as you're ever going to see, I think, to jump into that.
No, you're definitely right. You can see it happening right in our faces. If you don't think that the big businesses are recognizing that people have the opportunity to work from home, and that will affect them in the future years if we don't really just adjust and try to see how we can economize this thing and monetize it properly where businesses won't fail and people can still be properly supplied with jobs. This thing can get catastrophic. We don't even know where we're sitting with Moderna and Pfizer with this vaccine.
Right.
And it's really just got the people on edge. We're looking to our leadership, but our leadership is looking to nothing, and we really just don't know where we are right now.
Yeah. Well, I think it's just really cool because there's not too many young black 27-year-old guys who have gotten in on just kind of like through like the book resources with Dr. Anderson, with YouTube, done the research, found out that this whole real estate, making money in real estate, is actually accessible to. You seem like a very regular person. I don't think you came from like a bunch of money or whatever. Like you're just a regular guy, and you're making it happen. So I really hope that this episode is, or this story, if you will, inspires other people that are maybe feeling like they're at the margins and they're not really part of, in the know or whatever, and that they can go out and they can actually do the research and that they can make it happen. That is so awesome.
No, I definitely agree with you, and we got to think about it with everything that's going on right now. This one story right here can take somebody out of depression.
Yes.
It could cure that anxiety, or it can help you make your next $1 million.
Wow. Just
off bridging the gap of something that you may not know.
Well, you didn't ask me to do this, and there may not be anything that you're doing along these lines, but and this podcast isn't about like pushing anybody's particular product or whatever, but I feel really passionate about helping people in communities where there's not a lot of financial literacy, where there's not a lot of people around them doing things like this to get access to it. Because I love what you're saying so much. You actually said something right before we started. What did you say what was the saying you said about somebody's actions can be somebody else's liberation. What was that?
Yeah, so when we're doing great things, we liberate others through our actions.
We liberate others through our actions. I love that so much. Okay, so here's the thing. Are you in the business of passing along information, or in some ways empowering people, and then there's some sort of a business angle for you? Is there something we can promote, like a website or something for you personally, or no?
Yes, I have an Instagram. Y'all can follow me on Memphis Nino. That's spelled MEMPHISNINO. It's just a Memphis artist thing. Just a natural creative. Y'all can follow me on IG if y'all have any questions about, coming into real estate and utilizing the wholesale strategy for the first time, or even if you just have, questions around any advice, just direct message me and I'd love to answer that question for you or be a resource to you.
Dude, I don't know why it's just something in my heart. So I just bless you so much. I am, like I said, I already said I was proud of you, but I really hope that there, like you said, even if it's just a handful of people that hear this, it gets them off the couch, maybe out of anxiety, depression, feeling stuck, and that they actually do reach out to you, Marcus. I'm loving it. I'm loving what you're doing, and I hope that other people are able to be inspired and helped by what you're doing.
Y'all better watch out. This podcast is gonna go very live across the world.
You know what? I'll take that. I'm excited about it. This is my little baby. But honestly, Marcus, seriously, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for sharing today. Really.
No, thank you. I'm proud to.
Yes, sir. Yeah, again, I just find people like Marcus to be so inspiring. You don't have to be stuck or typecast in life. You can decide that normal job life, even if it is a family business, is just not for you. It won't be easy, and there are no guarantees of success. But if you're willing to work hard and not give up, you can do the thing you really want to do. Also, as a quick note, Marcus's IG link is in the show notes if you'd like to give him a follow. Well, we've covered a nice range of topics, from sexual embarrassment to the paranormal, but 3 of our riders today talk in one way or another about what they do for a living. From the wealthy young man who isn't just a trust fund baby, but has found ways to make his life mean something, to the young lady on her first steps towards being a boss-ass bitch, as she put it, to our last rider who shared his journey out of the expected career path. And our last rider reminds me of a quote that I want to leave us all with today. It is from one of my favorite movies of all time. And it is a quote that has just stayed with me ever since I heard it. The movie is The Imitation Game. And as a side note, if you've never seen it, even if you're not a World War II buff, it's worth watching for the cinematography and the writing and the storyline and the acting and all of that good stuff. And it's based on a true story, my favorite. But the narrator, who is talking about the main character, who in real life saved millions of lives with his invention, said this: "Sometimes it's the very people who no one imagines anything of who do the things no one can imagine." This is what happens when you are a rideshare driver in Atlanta and ask people for their stories. These weren't handpicked people with great stories. They just happened to get in my car and be gracious enough to share with all of us. And who knows, maybe someday you'll be in Atlanta and need to grab a rideshare and end up telling the rest of us the next great story on BCP. I'd actually encourage you to, every so often, just ask a stranger to share a story from their life. You never know what you might learn. I believe that our stories are powerful. They can make you laugh, cringe, cry, or even get you to think or feel differently. Our stories can truly make this world a little bit better place. So please, subscribe, rate, and listen to this podcast and share it with as many adults as possible. It would mean so much to me. First and foremost, I want to thank the incredible writers who trusted me with your stories. You're my heroes. Thanks also to all the people in the background who have believed in this project/dream. All of the music on this podcast was found on pixabay.com, and it was free, which is an amazing gift when you're starting a podcast on a shoestring budget.